Alrighty kids, welcome to this week's story time. We're at Mountain Rivers Tourist Park in Rawson, enjoying this beautiful place you might be able to see behind us, and we're going to have this week's story time right here. I actually picked this hill because our story is about, it actually took place on a big hill with lots of people, so you can imagine that this hill was filled with lots and lots of people. And this story is from the books of Matthew, Mark and Luke, and it's called Filled Full. There were once 5,000 tired and hungry and probably very grumpy people sitting on a hillside wanting their dinner. They'd come to hear Jesus that day. They came before breakfast, stayed all morning, all afternoon, and way past dinner. No one had meant to be out there that long. But that's how it was listening to Jesus, as if time didn't exist. People could listen to Jesus for hours, and on this particular day, that's just what they did. But they hadn't brought enough food, and they couldn't just go and buy themselves a burger and fries to go, because of course they were in the middle of nowhere, with no shops and no restaurants. Besides, that kind of food wasn't invented yet. What would they do? Jesus' friends had an idea. Let's send everyone home for dinner. They don't need to go, Jesus said. You can give them something to eat. Did Jesus want them to travel all the way to town and buy food for everyone? Jesus' friends panicked. But we don't have enough money. What food do you have? Jesus asked. Go and see. Now, there was a little boy in the crowd. He had brought a lunch that his mother had made for him that morning. He looked at his 5 loaves and 2 fish. It wasn't much, not nearly enough for 5,000, but it was all he had. I have some, he said. Jesus' friends laughed when they saw his little lunch. That's not nearly enough, they said. But they were wrong. Jesus knew it didn't matter how much the little boy had. God would make it enough, more than enough. Jesus said, bring me what you have. And so the little boy gave Jesus his lunch. Jesus winked at the little boy and whispered in his ear. Watch. Watch, he said. How in the world will Jesus feed everyone with just that? Jesus' friends said, because they thought it was impossible. But Jesus knew that the one who made all the fish in the oceans, and Jesus knew the one who in the very beginning had made everything out of nothing at all. How hard would something like this be for somebody like that? Jesus took the little boy's lunch, looked up to heaven, and thanked his Father. Then Jesus gave the little lunch back to his friends. As Jesus' friends started to hand out the food, do you know what? It was the strangest thing. No matter how much they broke off, there was always more and more and more. Enough for 5,000. Everyone ate as much as they wanted, even second helpings, third helpings, and fourth, until they were so full, and still there were leftovers. Well, Jesus did many miracles like this, things that people thought couldn't happen, that weren't natural, but it was the most natural thing in all the world. It's what God had been doing from the beginning, of course, taking the nothing and making it everything, taking the emptiness and filling it up, taking the darkness and making it light. And that is the end of our story for today, but I do have an exciting challenge for you to participate in if you'd like to. Now, Jesus fed over 5,000 people with just fish and bread, and that's pretty amazing, and it was a really cool miracle. But I wondered, if you had to put on a party or feed 5,000 people, what would you feed them if you could pick anything in the world? So your challenge is to create a menu, an imaginative menu of what you would have at a dinner party for 5,000 people. So you might like to make a list of different kinds of foods, maybe some entrees and some mains and even dessert, what would you feed 5,000 people? It can be all the foods that you like, and we'd love it if you would make a menu that everyone could look at so that they would know what they were going to get at your dinner party. If you are able to, take a photo of it and upload it, send it to us. We can pop it on our Facebook and Instagram pages so everyone can see, and I'd love to see how creative and fun your menu is. So why don't you guys go do that now, and big people can enjoy the service if that's what they're doing right now. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Say bye.
Bye-bye.